Ladies and gentlemen in Jamaica, 97B Church Street in Kingston. My name is Leon Nash, the Communications and PR Officer at the Jamaica Teachers Association. Welcome to Debate 2024. This is where we provide the candidates that are vying for the post of a president-elect of the Jamaica Teachers Association an opportunity to debate each other, to look at the issues that they will be facing as they go into the post of a president-elect of the Jamaica Teachers Association. And so we are more than happy to be providing this platform to all of you who are watching through Jamaica and the world for our debate 2024. Without any further ado then, let me hand over to our moderator of the evening, none other than Mr. Jovan Johnson.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for the 2024 Jamaica Teachers Association JTA Presidential Debate, brought to you with the kind support of the Jamaica Teachers Association Cooperative Credit Union, the Jamaica Publishing House, Tip Friendly Society, and Walden University. I'm Jovan Johnson. This debate will run for 90 minutes. Please note that there are no special judges, and therefore you, the members of the JTA, will decide. This debate is coming to you live from the WBC Ben Hawthorne Conference Room at the offices of the Jamaica Teachers Association, 97B Church Street in Kingston. This year we have 7 contenders. Dorian Allen Rainford, a teacher, Convent of Mercy Academy in Kingston. Suzette Baker Tollo, principal of the Fogar Road Infant School in Clarendon. Georgia Gowdy Green, vice principal, St. James High School. Mark Malava, principal, Yallas High School in St. Thomas. Ethan McNamee, principal of the Broadleaf Primary and Infant School in Manchester. O'Keefe Saunders, teacher at the Donald Quarry High School in Kingston, and Jermaine Williams, senior teacher, Manning's School in Westmoreland. The rules of the debate have been shared with the candidates. Candidates must always be respectful to each other. The candidates will each be allotted 3 minutes for their opening statements. They agree to appear in alphabetical order, and for their closing statements, the reverse will obtain. Candidates will also be allotted 2 minutes to answer each question. For the entire debate, each candidate will be allowed 2 separate 60-second periods to rebut a response of another candidate. The first candidate to indicate to the moderator that he or she wishes to rebut will be the one acknowledged and called on to make a rebuttal. Candidates will not lose their turn in the question and answer sequence after mounting a rebuttal. At the end of the final round, each candidate will get 3 minutes to make a final pitch. We begin this segment with each candidate being allotted 3 minutes to make an opening statement. Based on the alphabetical approach, Mrs. Dorian Allen Rainford, a teacher at the Convent of Mercy Academy in Kingston, will go first.
Good evening, Jamaica. My name is Dorian Allen Rainford. Vying for the position of JTA President-elect 2024 to 2025. I have been a teacher of over 27 years, and I'm presently a classroom teacher at the Convent of Mercy Academy Alpha, where I teach the subjects integrated science and chemistry. I am a minister of religion, where I worship at the Bethel United Church of Jesus Christ Apostolic. I have been a teacher advocate for over 20 years, representing the concerns and issues and all the problems of the island's teachers on all platforms right across this country, from public demonstrations to annual conferences. Colleagues, this afternoon, I have been integrally involved at all levels of the Jamaica Teachers Association, representing the concerns of all categories of teachers. This afternoon, colleagues, Dorian Allen Rainford is agitating for more livable wages for all categories of teachers, and that all categories of teachers must be paid their worth and their value based on their qualifications, based on their core competencies, and based on their abilities. Once I become the president of this association, I will agitate that the increments that were taken from the most experienced and the brightest minds in our society of teachers, that those increments must be returned with alacrity. Once I become your president, colleagues, I will ensure that the welfare of all categories of teachers must be taken care of. When I speak about welfare, I'm talking about housing solutions that are affordable to ensure that all categories of teachers believe and feel as if they are valued. Colleagues, when I speak about housing solutions, I also want to look at the fact that housing schemes, number of these schemes must be put aside, houses must be put aside for the island's teachers. And so, colleagues, I speak about teacher welfare and I talk about the fact that all categories of teachers must get health benefits and pension benefits. And so, when you vote on the 17th of June to the 21st of June, vote for a classroom teacher who understands the issues, who understands the educational landscape, who's involved in the Jamaica Teachers Association. Vote for class. Class is now in session.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Allen Rainford. Now to Mrs. Suzette Baker-Tuller, the principal of the Fogar Road Infant School, for your opening statement.
Fellow colleagues, good afternoon. I am Suzette Baker-Tuller, and I am excited yet humbled to stand before you today as the candidate of choice for the Jamaica Teachers Association President-elect 2024 to 2025. Colleagues, I believe that your role as a teacher is not just significant, but transformative. You shape minds, inspire dreams, empower futures, and you deserve the best compensation. With 29 years of experience in the classroom and an active JTA member who served in many capacities and a proven track record of leadership, I know I can represent you with honesty, integrity, and equity. Your work goes beyond the classroom. You are mentors, role models, and advocates for our students. Teachers, you are the backbone of our education system, and your dedication deserves recognition and respect. I understand and see the challenges you face every day. I know the importance of fair compensation, adequate resources, and a safe and supportive work environment. I am committed to listening to your concerns. I am committed to amplify your collective voice, to continue the fight for your rights and interests, to build a culture of collaboration and transparency, and to ensure that our profession is valued and supportive. Teachers, as a principal, I know your value. I ask for your vote because I believe that our association deserves a leader who understands the significance of your role and will fiercely advocate for your rights and interests. Let's work together to elevate our profession. Vote for Suzette Baker-Tuller, the voice for the teachers. Vote and send the message. A teacher's role is significant. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Baker-Tuller. Mrs. Georgia Gowdy-Green is a vice principal at the St. James High School. Here now is her 3-minute opening statement.
Can I correct you, Miss Georgia? Miss Georgia Gowdy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Jamaica. My name is Georgia Gowdy-Green, vice principal at St. James High School in Montego Bay. A distinguished educator born in the parish of Westmoreland. I'm a proud graduate of Mount Peter Primary School and Mount Alvernia High School. I received my tertiary education from the Pascal Gardens Teachers College, now CASE, and the Northern Caribbean University in Mandeville. I have done many professional development courses in leadership, development, and industrial relations, conducted by the JTA, the Jamaica Teachers Association Cooperative Credit Union, and the Jamaica Teaching Council. Currently, as a vice principal at the St. James High School, I continue to lead, inspire with excellence. Throughout my career, I've been recognized by numerous organizations. I've received numerous awards based upon my performance in the education system. The Prime Minister's Medal of Appreciation for Service to Education, the E.D. Dalton James Award for Service to the JTA and the education system, and the President's Award for Study Circle Chairman. At the parish level, I've been awarded for my dedication and commitment to the JTA, the 50th Anniversary Award, and the St. James Parish Association Treasurer's Award. From the St. James High School, I've been recognized for my commitment to service. I've been awarded for outstanding leadership in governance, the Long Service Award for the longest serving member of staff, and the Long Service Award for the longest serving academic member of staff. My outstanding service has shown that I am committed and I will serve you well. Teachers of Jamaica, when you vote, you should vote Georgia Green. My outstanding contribution to the education system and my commitment makes me a true leader. I have worked for over 30 years as a member of the teaching profession. I've been a contact teacher for over 28 years. I have served as a parish president, as treasurer, and a member of the central executive 2 times, a member of general council 2 times, study circle convener, and currently a study circle trainer of conveners. I say to you, my colleagues, during the week of June 17 to 21, I ask you to vote. Vote for strong, decisive, dependable, and determined leadership.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Georgia Gowdy Green. Now we'll hear the opening statement of Mr. Mark Malava, the principal of the Yallas High School in St. Thomas.
Thank you, Javon. Good evening, everyone. The name is Mark Malava. I am currently the principal of the Yallas High School in St. Thomas. I am a son of the soil of St. Catherine and an adopted son of St. Thomas. I literally moved directly from the classroom colleagues and after 16 years to principalship. I am the son of a mother who retired after 40 years in the teaching profession and sent me and my brother to school on a teacher's salary. My brother is a teacher. My sister is a teacher. I am a teacher first before anything else. And I reject and rebuke any suggestion that says I am not a teacher. What qualifies me to run for president? I have been a staunch advocate, colleagues, for teachers and for the transformation of education over the years. I have written more than 30 articles speaking about matters of education and salaries and conditions of services of our teachers, and spoken in various fora as well. During the time that I sat on General Council, I tabled 5 resolutions, colleagues. 2 in my capacity as chairman of the secondary committee. 3 I individually sponsored and moved on the floor of special conference and annual conference. 2 of which, colleagues, resulted in a seismic shift in the agitation for improved salaries and conditions of services of our teachers. I have made timely intervention, colleagues, in various forums as it relates to our teachers, whether it is at annual conference, special conference, general council, central executive, or in the public domain. I certainly did not go to general council to draw long bench and palaver. I went there to lend my voice, colleagues, to the cause of our teachers. And that is why, colleagues, we must never confuse years of service with quality service, because there's a difference between the two. So when others will say, colleagues, that they are advocates, most of them are advocates only in their minds. I have demonstrated advocacy, colleagues, in thought, deed, and action. When asked why did he decide to run at the time that he did, Barack Obama's response was because of the fierce necessity of now. The fierce necessity of now, colleagues, therefore demands a leader that is as bold as he is audacious. It demands leadership, colleagues, that is strategic and very deliberate. It demands leadership that is of the utmost integrity. It demands leadership that is well-researched and knows how to navigate the educational landscape. It demands a leader, colleagues, that can articulate the issues in the public domain. Colleagues, we have lost so much. Let us reclaim what we have lost. My name is Mark Malava, and I am reporting for duty.
Thank you, Mr. Malava. And now, Mr. Eaton McNamee, Principal of Broadleaf Primary in Manchester, for his opening statement.
Good afternoon, colleagues. The name is Eaton McNamee, Principal at Broadleaf Primary and Infant School in the parish of Manchester, a son of the soil of St. Thomas, a minister of religion in the Church of God of Prophecy. I have taught at all levels of the education sector, from early childhood up to tertiary. I've also been involved in the JTA as a contact teacher, a district president, a parish president, chairman of national committee. The only position that I have not yet held is president of the JTA. Hence, the journey continues. Colleagues, at this juncture, there are just 3 aspects of my manifesto that really at this time I will inject. Firstly, we have to look at our salaries, where it is that we are, and what it is that a teacher in Jamaica at this time, a first degree holder, can survive on. Colleagues, housing is another issue. If I didn't own a house, I probably would not be living here in Jamaica at this time. We need to solve that issue, and McNamee is the man for that. Colleagues, also, our health system. At this time, the work environment is more demanding than ever. Therefore, our health care amount that we get, it is not reflecting the realities of the market, and hence we need to agitate for better health care. Colleagues, that at this juncture in our education sector, the JTA is not looking for a classroom teacher. Neither is the JTA looking for a principal. The JTA at this time desires a candidate who knows the issues, a candidate who understands the issues, a candidate who can articulate the issues to represent the teachers at the highest level. You would have seen Eaton McNamee on the conference floor over the years agitating for better working conditions for teachers, agitating for better salaries, agitating for all that is good for teachers. Colleagues, when you go to the polls in the 3rd week of June, remember, JTA, advocates are not born overnight. Advocacy is not salvation that you inherit in a second. Instead, advocacy is practiced, it is processed, and Eaton has been through the process, and I am ready. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McNamee. Now to you, Mr. O'Keefe Saunders, a teacher at the Donald Quarry High School in Kingston.
Good evening, colleagues. I am O'Keefe Saunders, a proud, dedicated classroom teacher at the Donald Quarry High School. I was born in Chopperton, Clarendon, the 6th of January, 1973. I am the man with the plan, achievable one, the candidate of choice. And these are the things in my manifesto. Housing is important. If you leave this profession and you don't own a home, dog, nyam, your supper. So I'll be lobbying with the government for 100% financing for teachers to buy a house on the open market. I will also lobby with the government because $7.5 million can't buy no house. So I'll be lobbying with the government for a special benefit, and you have to go high, for 14 million per teachers, because we want our teachers to stay in the country, because we are having a mass migration of our teachers. We are going to lose more than 2,000 teachers coming this new school year. I will also lobby with the government that at least 2 of teachers' children must get full scholarship at any tertiary institution. Motor vehicle concession for teachers. Even today, I was campaigning And a lot of teachers did not get to come to school because of the strike with the taxi men. So government will say, yes, our labor force is large, but I will give them argument that they have to grant us something. So I'm saying, if you can't give all the 20%, give the senior teachers the full 20, give the regular teachers 10. Or there are thousands of cars on the wharf that people don't claim. The government can sell the teachers some of those vehicles for reasonable price. I will also lobby for the government to subsidize school canteens that teachers can get a breakfast and a lunch. And retired teachers, when you're retired, your health slashed to 20%. And I'm saying the government must give the retired teacher the maximum health that the teacher in the classroom have. Colleagues, vote O'Keefe Saunders, the man with the plan and an achievable one. I am not Jesus Christ. I can't work miracle. But when you elect me as your president, teachers, something good is going to happen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saunders. Our final candidate for the post of president-elect is Jermaine Williams, a senior teacher at Manning's School in Westmoreland. Over to you, Mr. Williams.
If you have no confidence in self, you're twice defeated in the race of life. With confidence, you have won even before you have started. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am Jermaine Williams, a senior teacher at Manning School in the parish of Westmoreland, a proud citizen of Darliston in the humble, peaceful community of Westmoreland. Your advocate. Colleagues, I've listened to the call. I've listened to the call from the Southeast region. I've listened to the call from the Northeast region. I've listened to the call from South Central. I've listened to the call from the Western region. I've listened to the call for a champion teacher to represent the interests of all levels of teachers across Jamaica. My colleagues, I am offering myself for higher service, having served in the Jamaica Teachers Association for the past 13 years, a contact teacher at Manning School for 13 years, District Association President, 3 times Parish President for the Parish of Westmoreland. My colleagues, I have been prepared for this task. I am not a hurry come up. I am from the belly of the JTA, one who would have groomed for this position. My colleagues, I want to represent your interests. When I become your president, some of my focus areas will be the salaries for teachers. I believe that the salaries for teachers should improve. No teacher should go home with less than $300,000 before tax. My colleagues, housing. 5% of houses are allotted to teachers. When I become your president, I'll be advocating for 10% allotment for teachers. Colleagues, teachers who qualify for vacation leave and fall outside the quota, I believe that they should be compensated because this is something that has already been earned. Colleagues, our system would have lost many of our seasoned educators. When I become your president, I'll be advocating for a retention incentive of $2,000 for every teacher who would have served the system for at least 10 years over the next 5 years. Colleagues, I am here to represent your interests. Team Substance, who is leading with passion, guided by experience. In the 3rd week of June, I implore you to vote for Jermaine Williams. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Williams. For this segment, questions will be posed individually to each candidate. The candidate will be allotted 2 minutes to answer. An opponent may rebut for no longer than 1 minute. Please be reminded that for the entire debate, each candidate is allowed only 2 separate 60-second periods to rebut a response of another candidate. The first candidate to indicate by a raise of hand that he or she wishes to rebut will be the one acknowledged and called on to make the rebuttal. The candidates have been briefed of all the other rules. Again, questions will be posed to the candidates in alphabetical order. Our first question comes from the JTA's South Central region, and it goes to Mrs. Dorian Allen Rainford, a teacher at Convent of Mercy Academy. Okay, I'll go ahead and ask. What are your opinions on how the Jamaica Teaching Council bill will impact teaching as we know it? And can you provide one recommendation you would like to see added or amended from the bill?
Thank you very much for that question, sir. The Jamaica Teaching Council bill as it is, how will it impact teaching? This bill is basically saying to all categories of teachers that they need to be licensed. And if they are not licensed, what it means is that there will be consequences, sometimes criminal consequences as a result. In addition, if they are not licensed, what this bill is also saying is that there will be a fine of $500,000 or more that will be applied if there are offenses that are taken against students. Now, this bill, it's about and also when the license has expired, that there are no punitive or penalties or, in fact, criminal consequences as a result of not licensing.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Baker-Tully, you want to use one of your rebuttals? Please go ahead.
The Jamaica Teaching Council has its positive as well as the Jamaica Teaching Council has its positives as well as its negative. And one of the positives that I've observed is that it is very good in its professional development for teachers that prepare them for migration. One of the things that is troubling me as it relates to them, I mean, certification is okay, that's not an issue. One of the new things that troubles me when I listen is this thing that they have put on the table, that if teachers are run in conflict with the law, then the Jamaica Teaching Council should have the power to lobby with other countries in preventing them from going elsewhere to continue in being a teacher. I'm saying, once we would have served whatever we would have committed here, we should be free to go anywhere in order to work.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Baker-Tully. And that's it. We'll go now for our first break on the 2024 JTA Presidential Debate. 7 contenders, 1 platform. More after these.
No one wants diabetes, right? Now that is more like it. Do you know that our Mathematics Made Real series of workbooks can help your students to achieve a healthy lifestyle? Yes, this performance task will teach your students how to measure and monitor their sugar intake. It will also teach them how to read labels. Let the Mathematics Made Real series equip your students with life skills for today, tomorrow, and the future.
Are you looking for the best numeracy and literacy workbooks for grades 4 and 5? Well, look no further. The Jamaica Publishing House Limited has the right books for you. Our Mathematics Made Real series of workbooks to grades 4 and 5, along with Leaps and Bounds in Literacy and Journeys in Literacy workbooks for grade 4, are here to help you. Let our books do the heavy lifting for you. Call us at 876-967-3866 or visit our website at jph.com.jm or follow us on our social media pages at the Jamaica Publishing House Limited. Get your books today and watch your students succeed.
Look how far you've come, building your world with the JTA Cooperative Credit Union. Building with your savings plan, buying your first car or higher education, financing for your very first home, teaching while you learn to grow. Look how far you've come, building your world with the JTA Cooperative Credit
Helping more teachers build their world. The JTA Cooperative Credit Union, serving our members, impacting lives positively.
Meet Dana. Dana is a teacher. She believes in saving and knows that $1 saved is $1 earned. But Dana isn't satisfied with the low returns she's getting. And with all their fees and charges, her savings appear to be going down, not up. Frustrated and disappointed, Dana shares her dilemma with her friend Simone. Why don't you join the JTA Credit Union, Simone suggests. It's the best credit union for teachers. No minimum balance charges, unlimited free account withdrawals and lodgements, lower interest rates on loans, and high interest on savings. Plus, each member also earns dividends. If you're a teacher, you won't find a better financial partner. Become a member of the JTA Co-op Credit Union. Visit jtacreditunion.com or call 876-618-1706 and start enjoying all the benefits you deserve.
At TIP, we care about our members. TIP is a friendly society for all education sector workers. We're member-owned and member-controlled. So, for over 20 years, we've been offering only the best secure savings, loans and insurance products our members want and need for themselves and their families. With dependable service you can count on. Members helping members achieve more financially, reach further, stand taller. TIP-friendly society, protecting our members' income, safeguarding their future.
This Monday, June 10, it's the Jamaica Teachers Association JTA's Presidential Debate. Watch the contenders for the 2024 President-elect match wit, policies, and potential. Dorian Allen Rainford, teacher, Convent of Mercy Academy. Suzette Baker-Tuller, principal, Fogo Road Infant School. Georgia Gowdy Green, vice principal, St. James High. Mark Malava, principal, Yallis High. Eaton McNamee, principal, Broadleaf Primary. O'Keefe Saunders, teacher, Donald Quarry High, and Jermaine Williams, senior teacher, Manning School. That's the JTA's Presidential Debate, Monday, June 10 at 5 p.m. Catch the action live on the JTA's YouTube channel. The JTA Presidential Debate, Monday, June 10, starting at 5 p.m. Watch it unfold. Brought to you in association with these sponsors.
Welcome back to the 2024 JTA Presidential Debate, brought to you in association with the Jamaica Teachers Association Cooperative Credit Union, the Jamaica Publishing House, Tip Friendly Society, and Walden University. I'm Jovan Johnson. If you're just joining us, we have 7 contenders for the post of JTA President-elect 2024-2025. Before the break, we heard from Mrs. Dorian Allen Rainford, a teacher at Convent of Mercy Academy in Kingston. Our next question goes to Mrs. Suzette Baker-Tuller, the principal of the Fogo Road Infant School in Clarendon. Mrs. Baker-Tuller, how will you pursue the realignment of teachers' wages to be 100% of the private sector?
Jamaica's vision is to have an educated workforce. And how can Jamaica realize this vision unless it has its teachers? The role of a teacher is very much important. And as it relates to the realignment, Jamaica can copy what other countries have been doing in ensuring that their teachers are well paid. We know that Jamaica, in comparison with our sister's country, or even with the good US of A, they say 7,000 will be leaving shortly. They go primarily because of the salary. Nobody wishes to leave here. How What is it that these countries are doing? They know that to drive their economy, they have to have an educated workforce. To get an educated workforce, they need teachers. So the role of their teachers are very much important. What have they done? They have ensured that the role of the teacher, they pay them according to their qualification. They ensure that for professional development, they get incentives, their years of service. They ensure also that they get increments for that. You do all of these things, it will ensure that the teachers' salaries skyrocketed.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Baker-Tulloh. Now to you, Ms. Georgia Gowdy-Green. In the circumstances, how realistic is your lobby for transport allowance for all categories of teachers in the public sector?
Based upon what is happening now in the economy, we see that our teachers have to travel. Even today, we recognize that there was a no transport movement for the public transport system. Now, our government should ensure that all categories of teachers are given due to concession. How will they realize that? We have realized that other government officials, those who are in administrative positions, they're all given travel allowances. They're all given due to concessions. And they are paid highly. I believe that our teachers, who are the bedrock of the Jamaican society, who are the nurturers of the children, who ensure that the children are taken care of, should be taken care of also. And therefore, the government should ensure that there are ways and means of giving our teachers due to concessions. We deserve it because we have served the children of the nation.
Thank you very much. We now go to Mr. Balava, but we have a video question for you, Mr. Balava, from the JTA's Northeast region.
From the Northeast region, Portland to be exact, Greetings everyone. My name is Adlai Lewis from the Northeast region, Portland to be exact, where I'm the immediate parish past president. My question to the candidate is as follows. Coming out of the last negotiation period, there has been a rift that has been driven into the association between teachers and principals, and as to who should lead the association. How do you plan to successfully unite the JTA?
General sense of apathy amongst our members, and you are right, there has been a narrative with respect to the teacher versus the principal. I think we have to do a couple of things. One, there's a need for greater transparency within our association. Two, we certainly need to amend the constitution because, let's face it, some of our members don't believe that they are part of the decision-making process. And I am suggesting, as has been in my manifesto, that we amend the constitution to ensure that when it comes on to things like salaries and conditions of services, for example, that every single teacher has a vote. The current delegate structure as it is can be easily manipulated and has been manipulated over the years. And our teachers do not believe that they are part of the process. So I think we need to start there. Secondly, I believe it starts from a leadership perspective in how it is that we lead. We certainly need to engage our members more, certainly through study circle, for example. We also need to facilitate and develop trust between our members and lead from that perspective. We also need to be very inclusive and listen to our members, because leadership is never about those in charge. Leadership is about those in your charge.
A rebuttal from, yes,
right,
Mrs.
So,
Doran.
I'm Doran Allen Rainford, and as we speak about uniting the teachers and to ensure that there's not a teacher principal issue. In governance, one of the things that must be in place, in every organization, there's a hierarchical structure which speaks to decision making. In our government, we see where there's a cabinet after all of us have voted for the government of who's going to run the country in terms of the different MPs. Now, at the schools, we have a hierarchical called decision-making structure, where we also have the principal, who is the chief accounting officer and chief executive officer. So I'm saying that in every organizational structure, governance is important, and therefore there's a decision-making structure that must be in place. I am saying that in order to unite, to ensure that there's engagement at all levels, through collaboration, through feedback, through transparency and engagement.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Allen Rainford. Now to you, Mr. McNamee, for your question. Why should your proposal to lobby the government to pass laws declaring violent attacks against teachers acts of terrorism against the state be taken seriously?
Why should our students continue to disrespect and disregard teachers, yet not taken, the action taken against teacher not taken seriously? We are in a time where school is the microcosm of society, and there has to be some drastic measures that we have to take in order to ensure that this kind of disrespect, this kind of not believing that teachers are in charge, that kind of thing, we ought to have a stop to that. And hence what we need to do is we have to ensure that the measures that we take will at least minimize the probability of attacks against teachers in the classroom. At least minimize that, so that our teachers can get to do their jobs in a more friendly environment that we principals try to create, that our teachers can at least do their jobs to educate Jamaican children. Because let's face it, the teachers' working environment is the students' learning environment.
I think the question is asking, Mr. McNamee, how realistic is that kind of promise to your fellow colleagues?
Very much realistic, because at the end of the day, we cannot, as I said, we cannot have our teachers going to classroom living in fear. That is number one. Our teachers get up in the morning to get to work. They are going in fear because they do not know what next will happen. Because as I said, school is a microcosm of society. So society is now dictating what is happening in our schools. So we have to ensure that we put the necessary measures in place. And if government is serious about education, government is serious about having our quality teachers remaining in the classroom, then I think that's a plausible solution that can be fixed, that can be attached to the problem, or can use now to solve the problem in our present state.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Williams, your rebuttal.
Declaring violence against a teacher as an act of terrorism will not necessarily solve the problem. We have to create a mind change. No longer our schools or our church are a safe space, because the mindset of some individuals within society would have changed. What we need to do is that the government needs to take a responsibility to ensure that schools are properly fenced, there's 24-hour security, and so we are better protected within the school system. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Williams. Now to you, Mr. Saunders, for your question. How specifically will you fulfill your pledge to retrieve the JTA from what you say are the clutches of political parties?
Okay. Now, for other candidate, the president, I think that we need to distance ourselves from political parties. So what we need to do, we need to communicate more with our members. We need to find out things, we need to find out the growth of our members, what our members want, right? So that's when we are negotiating, the members don't say that because you are close to this party or you're close to the other party. So we need to eradicate those things out of the union, communicate better with our teachers, set up a WhatsApp group, a Telegram group, and all of these things to communicate better with our teachers. That's our teachers know what we are negotiated for. We're negotiated for, and that they know that we are not involved with these political parties.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mrs. Green?
Jamaica at this state has a two-party system. The JLP, Jamaica Labour Party, and the PMP. Teachers, all teachers belong to one of these parties. It is obvious that once you are aligned to a party, you're going to vote along the party line. Whether or not you're in the JTA or not, you'll vote along party lines. So it's hard for one to separate teachers from the political party from which they are aligned to. And even though in the JTA we would like to see that happen, people, teachers, individuals will always be aligned to a party. How we vote on a particular matter at a conference relating to teachers is another thing. But teachers will vote along party lines most of the times.
Thank you very much. Mr. Malava has a rebuttal to a rebuttal. Go ahead, Mr. Malava.
The truth is, whilst everyone may have a political leaning or bias, you know, as teachers, we are all in the ship together. Yeah? So whenever you turn up at the supermarket, for example, the cashier is not going to ask you what your political leaning is. She's interested in this. When you turn up at JN, the bank teller doesn't care what your political leaning is. Discounts. So for me, what matters is that regardless of the political party that one is in, we are all in this boat together, and the common denominator is that we are teachers. And if we are honest with ourselves, we are going to have to fight tooth and nail with either political party to get what we want. But what is you see? There is a harsh reality that we are going to have to deal with, because at the end of the day, one is going to have to learn and understand how to navigate the political landscape in terms of negotiating with on behalf of our teachers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malava.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Williams, how will you pursue your proposed one-off payment equivalent to $2,000 as an incentive to teachers who serve the education system for 10 years and more?
Thank you for that question. Our education system needs our seasoned educators because they are the foundation. Our young teachers need mentorship. This is a proposal to the government, and I believe that there should be some reallocation of funds so these teachers who would have served the sector for 10 years or more can benefit from this one-off payment of $2,000. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Saunders, with your rebuttal.
No,
Mr. McNamee, I beg your pardon. I'm sorry.
Sir Simpson. Sir Williams. Voting for you would be different from voting for one or any other two of the former presidents who would have tricked the teachers. Now, so I'm saying that $2,000 will amount to $10,000. 1.5 Jamaican dollars in that sense. Why are we tricking? Why are we trying to trick the Jamaican teachers when they have not been lured or have not been hired or have not been recruited to go abroad? I believe that is a trick, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. McNamee. I'm sorry, Ms. Green, this is your second rebuttal?
Yes,
go ahead.
I too believe that it is not realistic, because when you look at the amount of $2,000, there's no classroom teacher in Jamaica who's getting that as a salary now. And I don't think the government would even look at it, consider it as a one-off payment. So definitely that is out of the door, out of the way.
Thank you very much, Ms. Green. Now to you again, Mrs. Allen Rainford. Higher salaries for teachers or improved classroom infrastructure? What would be your priority if you had to choose?
Thank you very much for that question. There is no question about it that higher compensation, higher salaries for teachers would be my priority. Now, if the teachers are paid more, if the teachers are compensated based on their qualifications, based on their core competencies, and based on their abilities, what it means is that they can pay their bills. they can take care of themselves and they can take care of their families. Once our teachers are paid properly, it means that they are not only able to be able to have a livable wage and to survive, but they can take vacations. They can actually let down their hair. They can actually relax. And instead of dropping down dead on the job because they are overworked, it means that they can actually take care of themselves. Self-care, our mental health is under attack. And so I believe that there's no question about it, that once teachers are paid based on their qualifications, based on their core competences, and based on their abilities, that it means that every category of teacher will be better off. They will have a livable wage, they'll be able to survive. When we talk about the fact that when we look at cost of living, that the fact that prices are going up, inflation is double digits, there is no question about it. That once the salaries of our Jamaican teachers are increased, it means that all categories of teachers can cross over. All categories of teachers can do more. And all categories of teachers will be motivated to actually stay in Jamaica rather than go to a foreign country. Because I man Banya, I man want to stay here. And not all of us want to go elsewhere. We want to stay in a country that we have demonstrated and we have been contributing to over the years.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Allen Rainford. Now to you, Mrs. Baker-Tulloh. Why should teachers take you seriously about your commitment to lobby for a tax return at the end of the year?
Why shouldn't they take me serious? I mean, Dr. Clark would have shown through his tax reverse credit that the principle, it is plausible. Because those who's earning under 3 million, they can apply for a one-off 20,000. So the same principle that is applied there what the government can do is they can do it in a band or where those in the 4 million, I don't know if any teacher is earning that, by the way, would get a percentage of tax return. So the principle is there. Teacher, it is already at work. It can apply to us. Our income tax is extremely high. The principle can be applied to us. Why shouldn't it be? Answer me.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Allen Rainford. Your second and final rebuttal of the debate.
Right, so looking at the principle of tax return, rather than going there, for me, a more credible way of actually looking at it and realigning and ensuring that all categories of teachers really benefit is really going back to the Ernst & Young report, which looks at what teachers must be compensated on based on their value and to ensure that there's added value. Now, if teachers are all compensated based on qualifications, based on core competencies, and based on their skills, it means that they must be given a certain sort of remuneration, a certain sort of salary compensation, which means that all categories of teachers would benefit, because once we look at the alignment of the Ernst & Young report, which speaks about where the teachers, the trained graduates, and even the master's teachers should be, it means that that would be more realistic. And fact of the matter is, colleagues, when we look at the fact that the Prime Minister, when we look at the fact that other categories of public sector workers, that was used to align them, there's no question
Thank you very much.
that it can be done.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Allen Rainford. And we will now go to our final break on this, the 2024 JTA Presidential Debate. 7 contenders, 1 platform. More after these.
Look how far you've come, building your world with the JTA Cooperative Credit Union. Building with your savings plan, buying your first car or higher education, financing for your very first home, teaching while you learn to grow. Look how far you've come, building your world with the JTA Cooperative Credit
Helping more teachers build their world. The JTA Cooperative Credit Union, serving more members, impacting lives positively.
Meet Dana. Dana is a teacher. She believes in saving and knows that $1 saved is $1 earned. But Dana isn't satisfied with the low returns she's getting. And with all their fees and Meet Dana. Dana is a teacher. She believes in saving and knows that a dollar saved is a dollar earned. But Dana isn't satisfied with the low returns she's getting. And with all their fees and charges, her savings appear to be going down, not up. Frustrated and disappointed, Dana shares her dilemma with her friend Simone.
No one wants diabetes, right? Now that is more like it. Do you know that our Mathematics Made Real series of workbooks can help your students to achieve a healthy lifestyle? Yes, this performance task will teach your students how to measure and monitor their sugar intake. It will also teach them how to read labels. Let the Mathematics Made Real series equip your students with life skills for today, tomorrow, and the future.
Are you looking for the best numeracy and literacy workbooks for grades 4 and 5? Well, look no further. The Jamaica Publishing House Limited has the right books for you. Our Mathematics Made Real series of workbooks to grades 4 and 5, along with Leaps and Bounds in Literacy and Journeys in Literacy workbooks for grade 4, are here to help you. Let our books do the heavy lifting for you. Call us at 876-967-3866 or visit our website at jph.com.jm or follow us on our social media pages at the Jamaica Publishing House Limited. Get your books today and watch your students succeed.
Look how far you've come, building your world with the JTA Cooperative Credit Union. Building with your savings plan, buying your first car or higher education, financing for your very first home, teaching while you learn to grow. Look how far you've come, building your world with the JTA Cooperative Credit
Helping more teachers build their world. The JTA Cooperative Credit Union, serving our members, impacting lives positively.
Meet Dana. Dana is a teacher. She believes in saving and knows that a dollar saved is a dollar earned. But Dana isn't satisfied with the low returns she's getting. And with all their fees and charges, her savings appear to be going down, not up. Frustrated and disappointed, Dana shares her dilemma with her friend Simone. Why don't you join the JTA Credit Union, Simone suggests. It's the best credit union for teachers. No minimum balance charges, unlimited free account withdrawals and lodgements, lower interest rates on loans, and high interest on savings. Plus, each member also earns dividends. If you're a teacher, you won't find a better financial partner. Become a member of the JTA Co-op Credit Union. Visit jtacreditunion.com or call 876-618-1706 and start enjoying all the benefits you deserve.
At TIP, we care about our members. TIP is a friendly society for all education sector workers. We're member-owned and member-controlled. So, for over 20 years, we've been offering only the best secure savings, loans, and insurance products our members want and need for themselves and their families, with dependable service you can count on. Members helping members achieve more financially, reach further, stand taller. TIP-friendly society, protecting our members' income, safeguarding their future.
Welcome back to this, the final segment of the 2024 JTA Presidential Debate, brought to you in association with the Jamaica Teachers Association, Cooperative Credit Union, the Jamaica Publishing House, Tip Friendly Society, and Walden University. I'm Jovan Johnson. We continue with our questions to our contenders. This question goes to Miss Georgia Green. What will your lobby for the government to build affordable housing in each parish for teachers look like?
Based upon what is happening now, there are many teachers that still do not own a home. I believe that the government of Jamaica should build affordable houses in each parish so that teachers will be able to afford them, one, and two, the housing solution should be near to their homes. Teachers have to travel from different parishes. We have teachers buying homes in Trelawney and they live in St. James. Teachers buying homes in Westmoreland and they live in Trelawney. I believe that if the government could build enough affordable housing in those parishes, it would reduce, one, the gas bills for teachers, two, the motor vehicle repairs for teachers. 3, it would ensure that teachers get to work easier, quicker than being in traffic as they travel each day. And so their time to and from work would be less. So I believe that the government should ensure that teachers are able to get affordable housing in the parishes where they live, build enough to supply the teachers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saunders, with your first rebuttal.
Rehousing. It is better for you to lobby for 100% financing to buy a house on the open market where teachers can identify their own home instead of our land. And if a teacher already have their own home, you can lobby for, instead of 10 years home improvement, 5 years home improvement, and lobby for an increase in the benefits. Because as I said, 7.5 million can't buy anywhere. So lobby with the government for a high increase of 14 million. You start at a high level. That's if they come down, they have to come close to that. They have to come close to that. It's because I have done a survey and 60% of our teachers don't own a home. And as I said,
thank you very much for that rebuttal, Mr. Saunders. Now to you, Mr. Malava, for your second question of the evening. How will you get all members of the JTA to accept a minimum percentage increase for salary negotiations with the government?
Repeat the question.
How will you get all members of the JTA to accept a minimum percentage increase in salary negotiations with the government?
Well, I have spoken about various reports that are out there and the value that our classroom teachers are at. Anything less than that is really inadequate and is an injustice. It cannot be that the government would have commissioned a report, for example, utilize the report to pay themselves the 300% and to pay every other category of worker except for our teachers. So with respect to that, there is a minimum for me in keeping with the report, and that is what we should be going for. I believe so strongly in the report that even if we have to take the matter to the Industrial Disputes Tribunal, we should. You know, there's something called Queen's Council that are QC, there's something called KC that are King's Council, there's something called VL that are Village Lawyer, that's me. Yeah? And I believe fundamentally that if I alone can take the matter to the Industrial Disputes Tribunal and can win, because we have a strong case. Permit me a minute to speak to the matter with respect to Germaine. Germaine, it look like you don't want the teachers them to go a hairdresser every month, you know. Every week, you know. It's like every month alone.
Is this a rebuttal, Mr. Malava?
I am speaking, I'm using my 2 minutes. You know, let me quote some figures. $1.5 million over 5 years when teachers are earning anywhere between 30 million to 35 million over 5 years in the United States. That, what you're calling a retention incentive, will not work. I don't know where you're going with that little bit of money, especially in light of the fact, Jermaine, that the government has indicated only 1.7% of the teaching population has resigned and have migrated. You are going to have to deal with the hurdle of convincing the government that they are facing a crisis, let alone to pay the other 90 odd point persons here that amount of money. That is not realistic, sir.
Thank you very much. Mr. Saunders, your second rebuttal.
Yes. All right. Mr. Malava, since the Ernst and Young report was published before the compensation of the public sector reclassification in Jamaica, which meant that you had knowledge of it and did nothing at the time. Now you're waiting on the chance to use it as a leverage for your campaign tool. When that have gone through the door, because we have blundered already with the band 6, band 7, and band 8 for teachers to go on. Now I'm saying you have to come up with different strategy, because Nigel Clark is not an easy kettle of the Jamaicans of a fish to deal with. So Mr. Malava, you have to wheel and come again. That don't make sense.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saunders. Now to You, Mr. McNamee, a video question from the JTA's Northeast region.
I am Rowena Newman Ridley, representing the Northeast region. My question is, the Orlando Patterson's report cites that despite the high enrollment in our early childhood institutions, a number of ills continue to plague early childhood institutions across the island. These include low quality teaching, minimum resources for early childhood institutions, an inadequate number of qualified teachers. How do you plan to impact this through your manifesto?
Thank you, Mrs. Newman Ridley. I, incidentally, am now a supervisor of an early childhood department. And since I assumed such a role, a lot would have been revealed to me. There are 12 standards to be met by the Early Childhood Commission for a early childhood institution to be recognized as a certified institution in the country. I think that number 2 speaks to financing. And we all know that everything hinges on financing. Presently, the system is in such a place that our early childhood institutions, like the primary institutions, are woefully under-resourced. At the early childhood level, we get $2,500, and the primary, $2,500 per child. At the secondary level, $17,500 per child. Plus, at the secondary level, they can charge an additional fee. Now, how we get about this is that the government, if serious about early childhood education, has to ensure that it pumps money into the early childhood sector so that the early childhood sector can be really financed. Because if the early childhood sector is really financed and running well and with trained teachers in the system, then the primary and the secondary sector will reap the benefits coming from that level. We have to make sure that we pay attention to the root so that we can get the proper shoot.
Thank you very much, Mr. McNamee. Now to you, Mr. Saunders. How will you lobby for primary school teachers to receive a special allowance as caregivers?
I used to teach in the primary school for, the prep school for 4 years, primary school for 10 years. And grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3 teachers, every day they have to be cleaning up mess and vomit with children because you don't have caregivers in the primary school. So I'm saying that I know it's radical, but I am saying the primary school teacher from 1 to 3 must get an allowance for caregiving because they have to collect lunch money. They have to change them when they messed up themselves. The teachers are mothers and fathers in the primary school from 1 to 3. So government can give them a little caregiving allowance that's for their job because they have to be cleaning up all of these mess, mothering and father these children. And it's a lot on the teachers. So I think government must give them a little caregiving allowance.
Yes, Mr. Malala, your second rebuttal.
You clearly have not articulated how it is that you intend to achieve it. And I think you need to think a little bit more as to how it is that you're going to achieve it without putting it on paper. But you see, you have indicated that I am just talking about the Ernst & Young report. I have been speaking about the Ernst & Young report from the devil was a boy. The first time I spoke about that report was at Wilma's. The second time that I spoke about it was at Michael. You were there. You were sitting between the 6th and the 10th row from the front wearing a vest in a video that you called Dr. Cooper a dunce writer. So the truth is you have no realistic plan as to how it is that you want to move our teachers forward. Not even a lesson plan that you have, sir.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Baker-Tulloh, your second rebuttal.
And final. Okay. O'Keefe, I like the idea of the caregiver thing to the teacher. However, what I would do build on, and this is something you can think about, because the grade 1 to 3 is referred to as the early childhood sector. Right, and you know, the ECC, they have a teacher pupil of 1 to 10. So what I would advise is tweak it a little and advocate for them to put caregivers in grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3, because those classes normally have more than 20. As it relates to the Ernst and Young, when I've read it, there is a flaw in that thingy there. The flaw in it is that everybody, every public sector workers, they are paid according to their roles. Now, the lower you are at the bottom, the line staff, you are paid the least amount. And that is what has happened to the teachers who ensure that the institution are run properly. So that is why I put on the table the role of a teacher. If you want to move your economy, the role of a teacher must be viewed as important and they must be treated as such.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Baker-Tulloh. Now to Mr. Williams, and we have a video question from the JTA's Northeast region and the South Central region as well.
Greetings, colleagues. I am Luann Bramwell Shakes of the South Central region. Worthy candidates, recently we have witnessed a regrettable increase in the sudden deaths of our nation's teachers. Although we have not yet collated the data, I would like to be apprised of the plans you will put in place to curb teachers' unprecedented stress levels in the classroom. I thank you.
A number of our teachers are suffering from stress and trauma. I believe the JTA, along with the Ministry of Education, should conduct a study to see the level of stress and trauma among our teachers. I am of the belief that our teachers are overworked and underpaid. They lack rest because of the number of responsibilities that they have to carry. And so I believe that the class size for our teachers should be minimized, and also the guidance counselors within our school system should provide continuous psychosocial support for our teachers. I want to commend the Jamaica Teachers Association for the Family Fun Day and also the Health and Wellness Getaway. But I believe that these programs could also be expanded to cater for more teachers that teachers can also access. Teachers are members of the association. I believe that within regions, and some of these forums could also be free of cost to the members of the JTA. The principal as well within the institution should try as best that he or she will minimize the work stress, the assignment of classes, etc. So teachers have manageable sessions that they deal with on a daily basis. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Williams. It's now time for the closing statements of our candidates. Each candidate.
I wanted to read my rebuttal.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Mr. McNamee, your
Yes,
rebuttal.
thank you. Teaching is the only profession that we do not have human resource managers. Our principals, one qualification is not human resource management training. So hence we manage more than 99.9% of human resource on a daily basis, yet we are not trained to do so. A push factor for our teachers migrating is caustic relationships in our schools. So our principals are not trained in human resource management, and that poses a great threat to the system. And I am very, very, very disappointed that Mr. Williams did not highlight that as a problem in the system.
Thank you very much, Mr. McNamee. We'll now go for a very quick break. We'll be right back.
What means we are going to break for party?
No one wants diabetes, right? Now that is more like it. Do you know that our Mathematics Made Real series of workbooks can help your students to achieve a healthy lifestyle? Yes, this performance task will teach your students how to measure and monitor their sugar intake. It will also teach them how to read labels. Let the Mathematics Made Real series equip your students with life skills for today, tomorrow, and the future.
Are you looking for the best numeracy and literacy workbooks for grades 4 and 5? Well, look no further. The Jamaica Publishing House Limited has the right books for you. Our Mathematics Made Real series of workbooks for grades 4 and 5, along with Leaps and Bounds in Literacy and Journeys in Literacy workbooks for grade 4, are here to help you. Let our books do the heavy lifting for you. Call us at 876-967-3866 or visit our website at jph.com.jm or follow us on our social media pages at the Jamaica Publishing House Limited. Get your books today and watch your students succeed.
Look how far you've come, building your world with the JTA Cooperative Credit Union. Building with your savings plan, buying your first car or higher education, financing for your very first home, teaching while you learn to grow. Look how far you've come, building your world with the JTA Cooperative Credit
Helping more teachers build their world. The JTA Cooperative Credit Union, serving our members, impacting lives positively.
Meet Dana. Dana is a teacher. She believes in saving and knows that a dollar saved is a dollar earned. But Dana isn't satisfied with the low returns she's getting. And with all their fees and charges, her savings appear to be going down, not up. Frustrated and disappointed, Dana shares her dilemma with her friend Simone. Why don't you join the JTA Credit Union, Simone suggests. It's the best credit union for teachers. No minimum balance charges, unlimited free account withdrawals and lodgements, lower interest rates on loans, and high interest on savings. Plus, each member also earns dividends. If you're a teacher, you won't find a better financial partner. Become a member of the JTA Co-op Credit Union. Visit jtacreditunion.com or call 876-618-1706 and start enjoying all the benefits you deserve.
At TIP, we care about our members. TIP is a friendly society for all education sector workers. We're member-owned and member-controlled.
This Monday, June 10, it's the Jamaica Teachers Association JTA's Presidential Debate. Watch the contenders for the 2024 President-elect match wit, policies, and potential. Dorian Allen Rainford, teacher, Convent of Mercy Academy. Suzette Baker-Tulloh, principal, Fogo Road Infant School. Georgia Gowdy Green, vice principal, St. James High. Mark Malava, principal, Yallis High. Eaton McNamee, principal, Broadleaf Primary. O'Keefe Saunders, teacher, Donald Quarry High, and Jermaine Williams, senior teacher, Manning School. That's the JTA's Presidential Debate, Monday, June 10 at 5 p.m. Catch the action live on the JTA's YouTube channel. The JTA Presidential Debate, Monday, June 10, starting at 5 p.m. Watch it unfold. Brought to you in association with these sponsors.
Welcome back to this, the final segment of the 2024 JTA Presidential Debate, brought to you in association with the Jamaica Teachers Association Cooperative Credit Union, the Jamaica Publishing House, Tip Friendly Society, and Walden University. I'm Jovan Johnson. It's now time for the closing statements of our candidates. Each candidate will be allotted 2 minutes for closing arguments based on the reversed alphabetical approach. Mr. Jermaine Williams, a senior teacher at the Manning School, will go first. Mr. Williams, your 2-minute closing statement.
Colleagues, I want to improve the lives of all categories of teachers at all levels. For far too long, the needs of teachers have been neglected. Teachers are the bedrock of our nation. Working conditions. As your president, I want to arrest the issue of violence among our students. Students are to be assessed and be provided with the necessary support. I will advocate with the Ministry of Education to equip the assessment centers to properly assess these students and provide the necessary support. I would also propose for professional development seminars for our teachers to support, with support from the deans of discipline and guidance counselors, to deal with the behavioral issues among our students. Safety and security for our teachers and students are also very important. I will negotiate with the government for 24-hour security for our schools. Colleagues, I am one of you. I was nominated by you. I live your experiences. If I represent your experience, your situation, then I will represent mine. And so in June, I ask you to vote for Jermaine Williams, the one who is living the same experiences like yourself, so I can represent your interests at the highest level.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. And now to O'Keefe Saunders, teacher at Donald Quarry High School, for his closing statement.
Colleagues, I am the man with the plan, your classroom teacher. We are on the ground like common fowl, scratching for corns and worms. Colleagues, I will represent you as how you are to represented. As a classroom teacher, we are all on bond 4. As a teacher with a bachelor's degree, diploma is on bond 3. Colleagues, I'm a radical man, and I'm going out there to take it to them, whosoever, whether it's a change of government or this present government. But, colleagues, vote O'Keefe Saunders, the man with the plan, a radical man. And as I said to you, I am not Jesus Christ. I can't work miracles, but something good is going to happen for the teachers of Jamaica under the stewardship of O'Keefe Saunders, the man with the plan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saunders. Mr. Ethan McNamee is the principal at Broadleaf Primary School in Manchester. Mr. McNamee.
Colleagues, at this time, I do not come to you with promises. I do not come to you with what has not been tried, tested, and proven. On the conference floor, you'd have seen Ethan agitating for the rights of teachers, agitating for better working conditions. I am no stranger to the struggles. I am no stranger to the classroom. I am a principal who teaches. I am no stranger to what is happening in the system. Hence my recommendation for human resource management training for our senior officials in the system. Our teachers are overworked. Our teachers are stressed. Come to Broadleaf Primary. My teachers come to work every day with smiling faces because I create that environment where they can achieve their full potential and they are able to serve with their might. Colleagues, you need to choose a president with a proven track record of dedication, leadership, and unwavering commitment to the JTA's mission. Colleagues, as I said, we are not looking for a classroom teacher. Neither are we looking for a principal. At this juncture, we are looking from someone who knows the issues, understands the issues, and can articulate the issues. Someone who is fearless and ready to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McNamee. We'll now hear the closing statement of Mr. Mark Malava, principal of Yallas High School in
Sounds
St.
like McNamee is talking about me. Colleagues, I have, throughout my sojourn, I have spoken to the issues. I have said in no uncertain terms that the government has shortchanged our teachers by $75,000. I have also said in no uncertain terms that the government has shortchanged our senior teachers by more than $120,000. I have spoken to the fact, colleagues, that incremental increases in our salaries have been lost. I have also spoken to the fact, colleagues, that our master's allowance have been slashed. Teachers are earning less than minimum wage for their master's allowance. As a matter of fact, students who are on path at the high school are getting far more money than teachers who are on the master's program. Colleagues, I have clearly articulated how it is that I intend to achieve better salaries and conditions of service for our teachers. I have spoken to how it is that I intend to give back the JTA to the members. I've also spoken, colleagues, as to how it is that I intend to lead the JTA in the interest of our teachers. I believe fundamentally, colleagues, that leadership is never about those in charge, but those in your charge. Colleagues, I have done my research. I have spoken to the research. I have demonstrated the requisite knowledge and the skill sets as to how it is to get our teachers where we ought to be. Yet there are those amongst us, colleagues, who are seeking to discredit research and reports that they have no expertise in. We need to ensure that our teachers are treated properly. Colleagues, let us reclaim every single thing where the government take from we and then some. On June 17, vote Mark Malava. One mission, one movement, one mark.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Georgia Gowdy Green is the Vice Principal at St. James High School. Here now is her 2-minute closing statement.
Colleagues, we are not looking for a classroom teacher. We are not looking for a principal. But in between the classroom teacher and the principal stands your vice principal. I am asking you, colleagues, on the week of June 17 to 21, you vote Georgia Green. Vote for knowledgeable, dependable, determined, and decisive leadership. I intend to lobby the government for an increase in salaries and condition of services for all teachers. I intend to lobby the government for increasing NHT loan benefits to match the market value of housing solutions. I intend to lobby the government for transport allowances for all teachers, all categories of teachers. I intend to lobby the government for duty concession in vehicles. Taxes on motor vehicles are very expensive, and we believe that 20% duty concession is good for the teacher. I intend to lobby for island-wide installation of CCTV across the length and breadth of Jamaica. These CCTV will ensure that schools are safe for students and our resources will be kept intact. It will be deterrent to theft and deterrent to vandalism. I intend to lobby the government to ensure that we have an increase in benefits for health insurance. I intend to lobby the government for an increase in pension benefits to all our teachers. I intend to ensure that our organization has industrial relations training. I intend to ensure that our organization have a public-private partnership with more organizations, more private organizations for our teachers to have benefits and to get discount. Teachers, on the week of June 17 to 21, vote Georgia Green. Vote for strong leadership. Vote for knowledgeable leadership. Vote and you will be right. Vote for Georgia. You will be right.
Thank you very much. Up next is Mrs. Suzette Baker-Tulloh, the principal of the Fogo Road Infant School in Clarendon.
Colleagues, how significant is your role as a teacher? How much do you value what it is you are doing? You have been demonstrating it well. That is why many of you have left for greener pastures, because you know that what you bring to the education system, it is what is building our country. The GDP, gross domestic product estimate for Jamaica in 2024, it is at 17.36 billion. That tells us that, if you understand it well, that the economy is doing great. It is doing so great that the politicians were able to give the raises that they took for themselves. And they gave the councillor, moved them from 1.7 million to 5.7 million, while you, my colleagues, remain at a mere 3 million, moving from 1.6 million. I am saying it is time for you to vote. Let your vote send a message. Send a message that the role that you're playing as a teacher is significant. If you're not there as a teacher, then we will not be able to have an educated workforce, and the economy of Jamaica will not continue to grow. When you vote, vote for Suzette Baker-Tulloh, the voice for the teacher. Vote because your role is significant.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Baker-Tulloh. And our final candidate for the post of President-elect is Dorian Allen Rainford. She'll now present her 2-minute closing statement.
Colleagues all, this is Dorian Allen Rainford here, asking you to vote for a candidate who will represent the interests of all categories of teachers across the length and breadth of this country. Colleagues all, Dorian Allen Rainford will agitate this government to ensure that all the benefits that have been removed in terms of increments, they are returned to all categories of teachers, especially those teachers who are among the brightest and best minds in our countries, especially those teachers who are the most experienced teachers. We have lost over 10 billion and even more possible because of all the increments that were taken. I am saying to this government that those increments must be returned to the island's teachers. And here is a classroom teacher who will agitate on your behalf that all categories of teachers must cross over. All categories of teachers must have a livable wage. All categories of teachers must be paid their worth and their value based on their qualifications, based on their core competencies, and based on their abilities. Colleagues all, our early childhood practitioners continue to languish as they are paid minimum wage. Dorian Allen Rainford will ensure that our early childhood practitioners are paid their worth and their value. Colleagues all, the working conditions of our island's teachers is deplorable. When we look at the working conditions of our early childhood practitioners, colleagues, we see that the early childhood students are actually given a meager 7% of the spending to the education sector, whereas the tertiary is actually more than that. Vote for a teacher who will ensure that all categories of teachers must cross over. Teachers' welfare must be realized. So vote Dorian Allen Rainford as your class candidate. Vote class. Class is now
Thank
in
you.
session.
Thank you, Mrs. Allen Rainford. And that brings us to the end of the 2024 Jamaica Teachers Association Presidential Debate, brought to you in association with the Jamaica Teachers Association Cooperative Credit Union, the Jamaica Publishing House, Tip Friendly Society, and Walden University. Thanks to our candidates as we now invite them to exchange pleasantries. Dorian Allen Rainford, teacher at the Convent of Mercy Academy in Kingston. Suzette Baker-Tulloh, principal of the Fogar Road Infant School in Clarendon. Georgia Gowdy-Green, the vice principal at St. James High School. Mark Malava, principal of Yallas High School in St. Thomas. Ethan McNamee, the principal at Broadleaf Primary in Manchester. O'Keefe Saunders, a teacher at the Donald Quarry High School in Kingston. And Jermaine Williams, senior teacher at Manning's School in Westmoreland. Thanks to the JTA's administrative officer in charge of communication and public relations, Leon Nash, producer Damian Mitchell, and the entire production team. But most of all, thanks to you for joining us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. The presidential decision is now